Hello. Welcome back for another episode of IG Lives with YanSlay. It's you, babe. YanSlay. And we are here for another episode. Oh, and our guest is on time today. Or you're on it. Oh, okay. Here we go. Welcome.
Hey, what's up? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. How's it going? Loving your show. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, thank you so much for accepting. I am so excited to get a chance to speak with you and learn more about your story. So, signature round of applause already in the beginning. All right. So, as the guest, I like to give you control of the narrative, especially towards the beginning. So, if you would, can you please introduce yourself from your own view and your own point? From your own words and your own point of view, and then we'll go ahead and jump into it.
Hey, I'm David Granison. I'm executive producer of Yellowbrick, Yellowbrick.co. I'm a producer. I've been producing for almost 20 years. I specialize in producing for the web. I specialize in producing short form video content. I'm a storyteller above all else. And, the way that I like to engage with audiences is by teaching as I tell stories. And so most of my projects have been centered around educational topics, creating, I started with a company called Pseudo back in the day, it was one of the first streaming companies in New York. It was, very, very early.com company. And, I worked my way up. I went to the location, banged on the door one morning because I loved what they were doing. It was so cutting edge, bringing DJs on, bringing various types of artists on, and worked my way up from an intern to cue cards, stage manager, all the way up until they hired me as a producer. And then from then on, I've been producing for almost 20 years, working with companies like BMW, the Sundance Channel, with, a wide variety of different, types of companies. But it's all centered around teaching people either through documentary style videos, through animations. I worked for a company called Brain Pop that created, while I was there, created probably over 500 videos. They were short, educational, animated videos. Worked with a company called Amaze, Amaze.org, to teach young people about, sexual identity, about, about gender identity, about, health issues that are really, really tough to explain to your child. We created really simple videos. It's Amaze.org, where you can talk to your young person about tough topics. But these are courses that we work with experts to create something that was really accessible for young people. So, again, I love what I do. I enjoy producing. I enjoy helping people to understand how to work. Currently working at Yellowbrick and creating really dope, as far as I'm concerned, I think they're dope, videos to help young people learn about how to different career paths, and focusing on things that they're passionate about. If you want to get into the sneaker industry, you can come to our course. If you want to get into the film industry, how you learned about us, film or television, you can take a course, from a top school. NYU Tisch is the top film school in the world, as far as I'm concerned. And, we partner with them and we connect with other brands to really create a really engaging courses, engaging content that allows young people to explore things they're passionate about and hopefully walk away with a direction in terms of where they want to go. So yeah, I hope that wasn't too long, but that's the overview.
Awesome. It was just enough. So my next question then, it seems like everything you've done in some degree or some level, especially things that you're passionate about, involve giving back, especially in an educational standpoint to the youth. So if you feel comfortable, can you share what inspires you to want to teach the next generation how to thrive?
Wow. Yeah, that's my passion. That's my mission, is really to help young people to understand how to use the tools that they have at their fingertips. like the phone, like, these devices that are always in their pocket, but many times they don't really know how to harness all the power that's in these devices. And, one of the things that, I specialize in these days is really creating, teaching people how to tell stories with their smartphone. I created an app called DIYdoc with John Carlin from the Red Hot organization. And this allows you to create a very, very short 2-minute video on any topic that you're very interested in. And we help organizations. Alicia Keys is was one of our first funders. And I went to Africa to help her teach people who are working with the We Are Here project and Keep a Child Alive, to tell their stories, because these are activists who are helping people to understand HIV and understand it is not a death sentence, and break down stigmas that are associated with HIV in Africa, by helping them to tell their stories. Create a short video that that tells your story. And so our goal was to help them not just rant on the camera or not just talk blindly, but to create a structured message where you have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and then a call to action. That's what many times young people don't know that they can do with these things, is create a very structured message that's much more effective than if you're just talking into the camera. And so that's one of the things that I really specialize in, is doing that. And also VR filmmaking. I do a lot of projects, both for Yellowbrick and for for other organizations, to help them to learn how to create VR that is smartphone friendly. These days you don't have to have a big headset to engage in a immersive experience. And so we have really been trying to perfect VR that plays on your phone, not that you have to buy a $1,000 Oculus or a $300 Oculus Quest to engage in media that's immersive and, again, that is something that is engaging. So yeah, those are things that I'm passionate about. And why did I do it? I do it because we have to teach our young people to document their stories now. That's the bottom line. If we don't teach them how to do it well, they're never going to be able to become creators or producers like myself. So that's why I do it.
Absolutely. And Lady T said, what's the app called again?
DIYdoc. It's in the iOS app store. It's not Android, sorry. Again, different organizations have call to actions for specific types of videos that they want created. And yeah, you can go on there. It's still up, and you can kind of take a look at some of the things that are there. But yeah, DIYdoc, do it yourself, DOC.
Period. All right. So one thing that you continue to highlight as well is telling your story and being a storyteller. So can you walk us through the significance? Like, why is it significant for us to tell our own stories?
That's a great question. One of the things that I ran into is I'm working on a film called God Said Give 'Em Drum Machines. What we have done over the past almost 16 years, for me, it's been about 16 years that I've been working on this project. It's a passion project, telling the story of the creators of techno who were from Detroit, and trying to put that story out there, because many people think techno came from Europe. But the problem that I had is going back and getting those stories has taken me 10 years. Okay? That's point one. So if we teach our young people to document their stories, to document art forms that they're creating, how to own that art form, own these genres that they're creating, these dances that they're creating, put them on their own domain, their own IP, before they put them onto social media, we're now teaching them to own their IP, and we're helping them to become media creators that are owning their content and that are able to then go back and tell that story, improve ownership, show a time-stamped video that shows the ownership and who created this art form. And so for me, going back 10 years, going back, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Like, it's hard. It took me 10 years. So I'm teaching kids to do it now, to own it now, to optimize it so that it's found, to use the right metadata, to do all the things that you really need to do to make sure that your content is both found and you can prove ownership of it and ultimately monetize it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Lady T said, leverage technology to level the playing field. Yes, you got me over here clapping too, so I agree. So you said to prove ownership. What exactly does that mean? Like, and why is it important to be able to prove ownership?
Well, what happens many times is we create content and we push it into social, and we push it into social before we have put it on our own domain that has a copyright symbol on it, that is a domain that we personally own. And so we push the content out, and then it's owned by that company. In not every case, that's not a blanket rule, but you're putting it out there before you claimed ownership of it. If you claim ownership on it on your domain, if you start monetizing it, create a t-shirt, okay, have your merch on your own domain, you then can start monetizing your content. How many dances do we know have been created, have been pushed out onto TikTok, and the person who created that dance gets no credit? You can copyright a dance. A series of movements can be copyrighted. And many people don't know that. And so being able to prove that ownership, being able to document that you created that, allow you to monetize it much easier versus it going out and then you have to figure out how to prove that you were the one who created it, and then you can't claim any ownership over it because it's too expensive. Big people have already taken it, and you then have to try to sue them or whatever whatever it happens. So that's really the basis of how I try to teach young people. I have on musicorigins.org, my site, that's what that site is all about, is helping people to, it's called the Music Origins Project. It's helping people to prove ownership, and I'm trying to find stories that tell exactly where a genre of music came from, so that you can then see that, bachata or or reggaeton came from Puerto Rico, or you can see that grime came from a specific part of London, or techno came from Detroit. Because again, going on Wikipedia, the nexus of our film starts with me in my master's program at Columbia, working on a project and searching for Detroit techno, seeing that what is written there, I grew up with these guys. What's there wrong? I change it, within 5 minutes, it changes back to this story of Europeans creating Detroit techno.
Wow.
And that made me start working to document this before all these guys are gone, and before all the artifacts are gone that can allow us to prove ownership. And again, hopefully Detroit can really monetize it. Berlin has a multi-billion-dollar industry built on techno, okay? Techno tourism is a thing in other countries, but Detroit is yet to monetize it. So again, we gotta own it. We gotta monetize it, and that allows us then to be able to go to bed at night knowing that we own the IP that we created.
Wow, y'all better get a bag to pick up them gems you just dropped, cause wow. Lady T also said go-go came from DC. So
DC, of course. Absolutely. I went to I went to school in DC, so I actually am working on an article right now on Go-Go for the Music Origins Project. So absolutely, that's a great one. Again, a perfect example of an art form that went global, and a lot of people don't know. Doing the Butt came out 20 years ago. That was a go-go beat, and nobody knew it. I mean, nobody but people from DC.
Yeah.
So again, these beats that come out, and we're like, whoa, what's that? And we don't realize that somebody created that, and that went huge somewhere before a hip hop artist got it and did something with it. So we got to tell these stories.
Absolutely, absolutely. Another signature round of applause for just like so much knowledge. So, can you talk a little bit more about music origins as well? Like, where did it come from? What was the inspiration, and anything you'd like to share?
Sure. Yeah, the Music Origins Project really started while I was doing my master's thesis at Columbia. And you know what I said, when I went onto Wikipedia and saw that when I tried to change an entry, I'm a primary source. I know the guys who created techno. I should be able to go in, I should be able to change a entry and that stick. But
Yeah.
again, pop culture goes in and they're dudes who think that they're the owners of these pages and they are changing that. And so I said, okay, I need to create a website that is curated, that is, you know, is vetted, where I'm having other musicians look at what I'm writing about, and I have other musicians writing on it, and I actually let students in the music program, the Clive Davis Institute music program
Wow.
at Yellowbrick, they actually contribute as well to creating articles about the origins of various art forms. And again, they have to show where they researched it. They have to show that, you know, what they've done is legit. I vet it and then we put it up. And so, you know, that's where it started. Now, Google Street Views allows you to go. When I started the website, you couldn't go anywhere in the world. Now I can go pretty much anywhere in the world and show a VR view of a specific location. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to these locations, I'm finding the entry. And so when you go to musicorigins.org, you're able to, in many cases, go to that specific location and see what's there now. Some cases, it's a
Wow.
vacant lot. Okay, my goal is to stop the buildings that are these historic buildings from being torn down, so they end up vacant lots. So you'll go to some entries and you'll see there's not much there. Other entries, you'll see that there is a building there and there is something going on. You know, we've got to both document these landmarks, but we've got to tell their stories. That's what digital storytelling is about. If you tell a story, it helps people understand the importance of that location. And so, you know, that's one of the things. And again, Google gave me my first VR cameras. And so I also contribute to Google Street Views. I'm a Google certified Street View VR creator. And again, it's a smartphone-based VR tool that allows you to take 360 images. They're not super expensive. I've trained a lot of young people in how to use them. You know, I work with the Master Consortium. And again, we're teaching young people how to shoot, you know, these tours for Street Views. And again, they can then go out and get paid to go to different restaurants
Oh,
and then put their restaurant on Street Views. And so, you know, we're trying to teach these guys to be entrepreneurs. And yeah, I've had them working with me, you know, creating the VR tours at Yellowbrick. And so, yeah, I'm really happy that I'm able to kind of bring up young people, teach them these new tools, help them to have a way to earn income while they're helping, you know, tell the stories of various locations around the world.
absolutely. I'm gonna have to move this interview downstairs because there's a tornado warning.
Oh,
So give me like 2 seconds and I'm just
get
gonna
somewhere safe.
yeah, we're just gonna go take it downstairs because I do not want to end the conversation, but there is a tornado warning going on right now. So this is real life.
I see some friends in chat here too. I see Digital Dre's, Andre
Yeah.
Holmes, the guy who works with me on Music Origin. So I'm going to shout him out. I see my man Scott Chenault, one of the editors, who helped me with the film Guys That Give Him Drum Machines, and of course Tristan Hill and Jennifer Washington are the director and the executive producer of Guys That Give Him Drum Machines. So I got to shout them out. But yeah, what's up, Scott?
Yeah.
So you know, are you safe? Are you safe?
Yes, I'm in the basement now. That's pretty crazy. It just kind of came out of nowhere, but we are a little bit on the tail end. So is there anything that you wanted to mention or ask about that, or that you wanted to mention or highlight that I did not already ask you?
Yeah, again, I would just say, we're in the process of rolling out summer. God said give them drum machines. So we really, we need people's help coming out and supporting when we premiere. And go to gsgedm.com, pick up some merch, because again, this is an indie project. We still are coming up trying to get the money to put this thing out. But luckily, again, we are premiering it this summer. So I'm excited to be able to say that you're actually, one of the first outlets where I'm saying that. But yeah, it's coming out soon. So again, we need indie filmmakers need your help. We're trying to teach indie filmmakers how to make films. We're just we're trying to do our best to really empower the next generation to do what it's taken us so long to do. And that's really my mission. And the people that I'm working with, we all are working toward that end of helping people to tell their own stories and to own their own narrative.
Absolutely. So you guys heard that. Be on the lookout for summertime. What is the best way that someone can keep up with you to make sure that like they're aware of when it's going to be premiering and just aware of different projects?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could say I was super active on Instagram, but I'm not. But you're teaching me. This is my first.
Can you guys see me? I think the
on Twitter,
internet. I think we're having internet. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, it blanked out. Can you say that one more time?
Oh, you can check me out. My Twitter is @Granison. On Instagram, I'm @TechnoMecca, one word, TECHNOMECCA. And you can also follow me. Go to the Music Origins Project, and everything that we do goes up there. And if you know a teacher, send them there, because we've got a lot of educational materials on the things that I've been talking about up there that they can access for free. And even digital storytelling, things that we've done with DIYdoc. We have ways that you can learn all of that and use it in your classroom with your teacher, or just read about it and learn about it for your own edification.
Absolutely. I would give you a signature round of applause if my other hand didn't have to become the holding thing.
Big shout to you for harnessing this technology and teaching me a little bit about how to use IG for interviewing. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. So in the last couple of minutes, I will give you the mic. And if there's anyone also that you wanted to shout out again, if there's anything that you were like, oh, I wish that I mentioned this, but I didn't, I just thought about it. Or if you have any questions for me, feel free.
I've got a question for you.
Oh.
How did you learn about this interview feature of IG? Because again, I think this is super powerful what you're doing. Because again, while I say start on your own site and then push here, this is incredible because you're able to quickly interview somebody on a specific subject. So tell me, how did you learn about the tool and master it so quickly?
So I think I learned about it just by, using Instagram. And I used to be like kind of addicted to Instagram. So I had to take a little bit of a break, but I just was always on Instagram and noticed that there was a new feature. And then when the pandemic started happening and we were stuck in the house, I was like, and then the timeline was flooded with just negativity and just all type of things. So I was like, what can I do to just bring some new things out there? And I also had a lot of questions and didn't really have access to people who could answer those questions. So I was like, maybe we could do some interviews, and that I think people will be more open to say, yes, let's interview versus, oh, would you mind having a Zoom lunch with me? People might be like, no, I don't know about that. But an interview, I thought, just give it a try. And it's just been flowing pretty nicely, I must say. Thank you for that.
Hats off. You harness this medium, you're using it to do something new. And again, you're putting your brand out there. So, big up, and again, thank you for your support, and taking the course, film in television essentials, on Yellowbrick. So big
Yeah.
up you, and again, we're gonna shout you out in bigger ways because that's
Thank
what's
you.
up.
Thank you. And I'm also in the fashion program too. And I must say, it's an amazing, such a robust system, so easy to use, so much information. And like I said, we use some of the tips from the fashion program at the pop-up shop. So it's already coming in handy. So
And thanks for sharing that pop up, because again, you're putting yourself out there, you're merchandising, you're putting your brand out there. I love it. Like, you are a model entrepreneur. And so, yeah, I had to support. When I saw what you were doing, I was like, yo, you're serious, you're making it happen, your brand is dope. I'll support. I'm happy to support.
thank you. So look, I'm smiling from ear to ear. And Scott said, great job. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys. I am so appreciative. And this was just such an amazing experience. Is there anything that you'd like to leave us off with? Any words of wisdom while this hurricane is literally happening?
Hey, all I would say is, teach a young person how to create their own media well. Support them in where they're making it, but help them to learn how to harness it and put it somewhere. Get them to buy. If I could tell anybody one thing, is buy the domain for your name. Even if you buy it, if you can get just your last name, then you're buying it for your family. If you get your first and last name, then you're buying it for yourself. Get both of them, because you don't want one day to need to create a portfolio or to want to put a family history up and you can't do it on your own name. So that's what's up. That's my tip for the day, is buy your own domain and keep it. Don't let anybody else take it.
Absolutely. Once again, signature round of applause. Thank you so much for doing this conversation and having this interview. It has been such a pleasure just to learn more about you, learn more about your projects, and just get to speak to you honestly. And as someone who is in one of the programs that you are working with, I can truly say that you are doing more than just speaking. You are practicing at the same time. So big shout out to you. And I hope you have a great evening. If you ever want to come back on, you are more than welcome, especially when the premiere happens. If you ever want to, you're always
take
more
me
than
up on that.
welcome.
I love to talk. So,
Right. You in good company. So this is perfect. But
likewise.
with that being said, as long as Instagram works properly, this will be on immediately, and then I can tag whichever profiles you want in the comments. And for now, I'll see you another time, and I hope that your day is so amazing and that you continue to prosper.
Keep being positive. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, guys.